This week was super challenging for me. I have been completely triggered. I've been really angry. Let's get into it. So this week was about paying more attention in your everyday, appreciating life, basically. And I really faced myself this week. I feel like I was done dirty and tested by a few people, but I know that I feel that way because of my limiting beliefs about, I'll read them to you. So, not feeling worthy of fair exchange for my time and value, and the other is feeling like I'm not the authority in my life and that somebody else is in control. I think these are my sort of core beliefs. I'm aware of these things, like this is not the first time I've thought about these things, but they were really tested this time, and I thought, I had to face them. And so there are about 3 instances where I felt I was really pushed. Also, by the way, I missed 1 week of 1 day of morning pages, and that day I was making that painting. That video is up now, and my period started that day. Also, I just want to add, I think that coloured a lot of things. Women and hormones, that affects a lot of stuff, and I'm fine with that. Like, I'm not ashamed about that. And I did an evening pages. I don't know. We do what we can do. Well, let me tell you what was going on first, and I'll tell you about my artist date that I managed to squeeze in. I just basically felt done dirty by people, work, family, and what I thought would be a new opportunity. I think the door is not fully closed on that opportunity, but I faced what I felt like was rejection or feeling triggered and not feeling good enough in what I have to offer. So I'm not going to give away it's a government funded thing, but I'm not going to give that away. I don't want to throw away my opportunities, but I spoke about in the previous week leaping and the net will appear, and I thought the net appeared. I think it did, but so on Friday I got an email about joining an advisory board, and this relates to my work that I did with Black Girl Swim Club. I won't give too many details about it, but I was pissed, to say the least, after the call. I know it's because of my putting everything on it and getting excited and thinking it was going to save me. So I thought, oh wow, like I've just left my job and now this interesting thing has come along. So I had a chat with them. By the way, it's like a government-funded campaign to get more underrepresented women in underrepresented groups be more active, and where I would come in would be advising on getting more black women swimming. So very relevant to what I was doing and what I can help with. Basically, it wasn't like they were trying to hide the fact that it wasn't paid very well, and that really irked me, and I kind of embarrassingly, I kind of spiraled after that because it triggered a thing in me. And also they were trying to, I hate when people do this, and I faced this before, where, I don't know, people know it's not paid very well, so they're trying to, really fluff up all the other things, like, oh, there's this, there's that. And I was like, oh, this is not what, I didn't say this, and I needed, and also the thing that was getting on my nerves as well is that they were rushing me for an answer on the call, and I hate that. Like, I need to take my time and go away and read. So I asked them if they could send me the presentation that they talked me through, and then they kind of, one of them looked really shocked on the call and was like, oh, we can put together a separate document. I was like, anyway, I sort of felt a bit rejected, and I really spiraled. I think on the outside, maybe I don't think I look like I'm spiraling, but I was emotionally, internally, I was like just feeling really rejected, and I missed out on an opportunity. Also, I felt like this is something else I faced with this Black Girls Swim Club project and other things, work as well, where people are trying to squeeze out of me everything they can get for what I don't think is fair pay or enough fair compensation. And then I feel guilty for caring about money, or as if it makes me look selfish or not noble, because this is not a charitable cause, but it's supposed to be a community thing for the culture, for Black women, and all this kind of stuff, which of course I know because I'm the one who started the community, my community. But I just got so burned out last year, maybe a few more than a year ago, doing this and not paying myself. I don't directly relate this to my art, but this is why I started making art again, because I think it's something that it's truly for myself. I feel like, apart from my business, The Spring, which was ethical hair products mainly by Black-owned brands for Black women, I feel like a lot of the things I've done is mainly for other people, and I want to do something for me. It reminded me again that I'm making art, because I want to share it, and yes, I want to make money, and I'm not ashamed to say that now. But it's for me, it's making something that came out of me, and the process I'm doing it is for me. And for me, this is revolutionary, because I feel like I've just been trying to get by and survive by contorting myself to try and be the right person for other businesses or other people, and it's been so unfulfilling. Also because I'm just not making the money that I want to be making. So even charging, like when I start putting my pieces up and putting a price on it, will be a scary move-ish, because I've sold relatively expensive things before, but this will feel, it's just an experiment for me, like putting my stuff out there and believing the universe will pay me what I believe I'm worth. So that was a big thing that was questioned. And I'm trying to be consistent with these videos, and I almost didn't film this video because I was so angry. I did so much tapping, so EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique, and search Brad Yates on YouTube, he's great. I've been tapping with him for years, my mum told me about him. I've been doing some hardcore tapping sessions for I don't know, I'll do a long one, maybe half an hour, keep doing it, realising what the deeper problem is, tapping on that, and then writing, doing my energy work, writing for a long time, over an hour, just to kind of get the energy out. Sometimes I dance it out, that's great, but it wasn't that. This time I know I feel angry, I feel triggered because I have a blocked belief and it's not helping me, and I need to change it. So that's what I've been working on, and as of today I really felt like I broke away. Today what I've been doing is I felt inspired to revisit Ester Perel again. I love her. She is, what is she? I want to say psychotherapist, but sex and relationships therapist, and she's got loads of videos and interviews on the internet, so check her out, about eroticism, and not in a sexual way. It's about what turns you on and lights you up in life. And I really took the time, after saying some affirmations, writing affirmations, which also relates to some of the exercises in the Artist's Way, but I did this as a separate thing. I went through all areas in my life. So what was it? Play, what I do for fun, what I like to do, what services and I want to put out into the world, and how I want to make money, my relationship, family, future family, health, and some other things. I went through everyone, and I've done this before, but this time I made it. I don't know, it just felt final and definite and proper. And I was reminded about Ester Perel, and she talks about taking responsibility for our wants, and how other people can't want for us, or you have to meet your own needs. And that was something that I did in a check-in for the Artist's Way as well. That was great. It was the specific phrasing that Julia used. The task was 10 tiny changes that that I can make for myself. And I kind of, dwelled on the changes I can make for myself. So, I don't know, it just made me think, oh, this is something that I can, it's not, yeah, maybe I can pay someone to do something, and that I think that still counts, but it's just, I don't know, so ultimately for me, it's about taking responsibility. So I'm finding, even though I'm only on, officially after this video, it's week 3, but we're talking about week 2 here, so 2 weeks so far. There's a lot of tasks, basically. So there's about 10 tasks, and they're quite long, and they're good. Like, when you see the list, you might be like, oh, that's long, I don't care about it. But if you've decided to do this journey of the artist's way, it really is about self-inquiry, and it's not just reading a self-help book. It really is a practical guide. Like, write your list, write your dreamy list of the things you want to do. Okay, now go and do it, and add it. Take a little bit of time. Also, that was a theme for this week as well. Not needing or being intimidated or overwhelmed by needing or thinking that you need some big block of time to do your artist day or to do something that's interesting towards your alternative lives or whatever. And she was saying, even if it's just squeezing in a little 15 minutes on your lunch break to go to this store, record store, or whatever. For me, I wrote hardware store, because I love, if you know me, you know I love a hardware store. So that was interesting as well, just like little increments of time, which I need to bear in mind when I'm playing bass as well. Like, I can get really, as I said before, I can go all in on my bass, I can go all in on visual art, when really just a little 10 minutes every day, and I would be incrementally getting better. But I haven't been doing that. So what I meant was, I haven't really been good at adding a bit of time for the tasks as well as the morning pages. So I've been squeezing them in on the last day before the check-in, and it's intense, because then I'm sitting there for about 2 hours answering these questions, and maybe I'm taking longer than I should and not being as intuitive as I could. Anyway, I squeezed in my artist date on one of the evenings. This was also intuitive though, so I like the way this worked out. And so I went on Facebook, opened up my Facebook app, I was about to scroll, great, Marsha. And then I get good suggestions because of the things I interact with. So, and I get these indie film suggestions. And then as soon as I opened the app, I saw recommendation for the film Paterson with Adam Driver, who I love. And I've seen that film before, and I thought, yes. And I understood the synchronicity straight away, and I thought, I'm going to watch that. So it was like 11 p.m. and I had work the next day. And I thought, I'm going to watch this as my artist date. It's not the same as going out. And also, I've been a bit worried, like, oh, am I doing this right? I'm not taking myself out anywhere. Also, it's cold in London, and I don't like being cold. I like to be warm. Anyway, I thought I took time with myself. It was just me. I got cozy on the sofa watching Adam Driver, and it was great. So the reason why I saw parallels with that film and this week too, because this week was about slowing down, taking time and being and observing, and making little moments of time for your art. And Adam Driver's character Paterson was doing that. So he was a bus driver, and he lived in like a sleepy town also called Paterson. I don't actually know where that is in America, if it's real or whatever. And he was a poet as well. So he was writing, not a published one, that was the part of the premise of the story. And his girlfriend was a wacky, whimsical, painting around the house and wanting to be a star, all this kind of stuff. But he would write his poetry before his bus shift, at lunchtime, and when he got back. And I thought, okay, like, that's it. Whether it's having your little sketchbook or having a camera, for research when I'm out and about, or just find pockets of time to fit it in around your life, And I thought, that's nice. Also though, I thought the girlfriend was an interesting character, and it's not lost on me the way I sort of felt towards her. I guess this time, it's funny because the first time I watched this film, I didn't consider myself an artist really, because I was dormant, like I wasn't really doing my art anymore, and I just was watching it. But this time round, I see myself in the characters. Also, I forgot to add that Paterson, when he was driving on the bus, he would be listening to his passengers' conversations, and he was like looking in the mirror and like listening to them, and he had matches on his table when he was eating breakfast, and he'd write a little poem about that, and I thought, oh, that's great, I love that. Back to the girlfriend, I felt like I saw myself in her embarrassingly, because I thought she was a bit, I don't know, I didn't feel like she had like energy or vim, or like she was living life, but she was satisfied, and that was nice. And she had aspirations, I suppose, but I kind of felt like she wasn't doing anything, and I wonder if I feel that way about myself. Also, she was painting everything around the house with these, a bit like Yayoi Kusuma, but like circles, her own style. She spoke about that as well. I have my own visual style, which ironically I'm looking for in myself. But the thing is, she was painting, he hated her dog, I think. He never voiced this, but he would look at the dog and screw the dog and all this kind of stuff. And she had all these like garish paintings of her bulldog. And I've got my painting on the wall, and I know my boyfriend doesn't like this one, and I don't really think he likes a lot of my pieces. I don't know what he thinks. He'll watch this anyway. I'll see what he thinks. I think he prefers more figurative stuff. And part of one of my triggers was we had a conversation the other day, because I just painted this here and I left it here because it's actually it's quite big. Also, I have to make it big for my videos because the wall in here is massive, and if I use like a smaller A3 sheet, it looks uncomfortable, it looks awkward. So I want to get big. Anyway, I can't easily store this somewhere because it's not as big as this space is. We don't really have storage, and I kind of got the impression my boyfriend didn't like it and that he doesn't want it up. And I feel like in the film, Paterson didn't necessarily like her art, but he loved her, so he just went with it. Also, he wasn't very polarizing, or I don't feel like he had strong opinions about things. He just went with it. That's whatever. Anyway, that's what I just thought. I just thought maybe I saw myself in her a little bit there, and I was a bit turned off by her, I should say, and I guess I should address that in myself. What is it that maybe about not believing in myself, kind of thing? Just something for me to think about. As a last point, I thought I would share. Actually, there's 2 points. Last week I shared my alternative lives, and this time we had to add 5 more. So I'll tell you my other 5 more. Okay. A food critic, an author writing novels, a glass blower. I love a glass bottle. Like, I love packaging. I'm a real sucker for that. A screenwriter, and a florist. And one of the other exercises we had to do was write about our favourite activities, and these would be the basis for artist dates. So I'll read some of them that aren't that personal, but they're in no particular order or of importance, but playing PlayStation. I used to love gaming so much, and I haven't done it in years. Mountain biking in nature. It's so exhilarating, and I love it. It's so fun. Going for a drive in an unfamiliar place. I can't drive yet, so I'm passenger princess, but I love it. Listening to music, eating snacks, just being warm, I love it. I love that. Going for an intuitive walk in the sun. That's something I love to do. So I just go walking aimlessly, listening to music. I do this in the summertime. I would never do it in the winter because it's cold and I have these weird sensitivities, but I love doing that. Singing and dancing at a gig of one of my favourite artists. Love that. I actually booked a gig last week in Shoreditch with Javier Santiago, who I love, but because I was upset, I was so stressed and upset, and I didn't go. And it's whatever, like, he'll be back because he comes to London a bit, but anyway, I was really bummed at myself because I thought all I would love to spend my time doing is while I was going to gigs. Like, if I had infinite money, I would spend a lot of money going to see live music. And then when I finally have the chance to go and see an artist that I really like, I let being upset or stressed, stress me out. And I like to keep myself to myself when I'm upset. So, playing bass. laughing on a video call with my mum and my twin, that's good fun. And we don't all speak that often. I don't see my mum that often either, so that's nice. Going on holiday, I just love the feeling of booking somewhere new that I've never been. It's not so much that I like being at the airport, but it's just the anticipation of going somewhere new, and I love that. Having a mocktail after I get in. So a mocktail is something that I make myself. I drink alcohol, but I call this drink a mocktail. It's a mixture of cranberry juice and tonic water, and that's it. And it's just the best thing. Try it. Going clothes shopping by myself. Haven't done that in way too long. Swinging high on swings. I love swings. Those things that kids go on. I love them now. I love going on those. Giving myself a sexy new hairstyle. I used to spend so much time doing my hair, like hours doing my hair. And actually my hair is getting way longer now because I'm actually just leaving it alone. But the thing is I don't feel as amazing anymore. So also this hair really needs washing. Don't look too hard at that. And I'm thinking of doing boho braids again. It takes about 16 hours, but it's worth it. So I might do that soon. Making something out of clay. My ceramics course ended last month, or the month before that, but I've got some air-dried clay, and I don't think I've used air-dried clay, so I'm gonna make something out of that and share it. Going out for gelato. I love gelato. So whether I'm on holiday or even in London, going out for some late night gelato in the sun, love it. And I always have to get a sorbet scoop, a fruity scoop, and a creamy rich scoop. Browsing a hardware store, that's good. Love that. And going to the cinema alone. So that's what that's about. I definitely think I've grown this week a lot. I think I've overcome something. I've really gone back to face my limiting beliefs again, which they're just going to keep coming up. This is as I said, a journey of being vulnerable and, growing and exposing the parts of myself that feel blocked. So that came. I'm only going to grow and overcome those things when I get the trigger and I feel it and integrate it and accept it, and then make a new decision. So I'll be back, hopefully, and yeah, hopefully making some more art pieces, hopefully some other ideas. I have some other things I want to talk about as well, but we'll just see how this channel develops. Yeah.